Okay, everybody, thanks for joining us on a nice Saturday morning. Uh, I'm sorry that we're having to meet on these circumstances, but I'm happy that we have options here at LAC. As you guys know in my email, unfortunately, we are not able to um, practice starting next week at the Keller ISD natatorium. There's a leak in the pool and it has to get fixed immediately. And unfortunately, there's nothing we can do or um, slow this timeline down to maybe we could do it at a more convenient time for our swimmers. So we are stuck in this situation, but luckily we have some pretty good solutions. So wanted to talk to you a little bit about kind of what's going to be happening moving forward and kind of the timeline of things happening and the options we all have. So to start out, practices will start after Tuesday, October 17th, I believe is Tuesday. Tuesday morning, we will have our normal practice. We will have a normal practice on Monday. I believe we have doubles for the National 1 and National 3 groups. And then we are running the same schedule that we run on Thursday and Friday in the afternoon, where we have a 2:30 to 4:30 and 4:30 to 6:30 groups. Starting Tuesday afternoon next week, we will start being in Northwest ISD. Those practices are basically for the national groups will be from 3:45 to 5:15 with dry land happening afterwards from 5:15 to 6 p.m. I know the biggest issue there is we do have some families that are not able to make it at 3:45. We do have some options for those families. My recommendation is to reach out to me specifically, and we will get you in the right spot. You can practice with Jeff Pishko's national group from about 5 to 7 p.m. 5:15 to 7:15. It just depends on the day. But you should be able to practice with them on those practices. Basically, what has happened is Northwest ISD has moved their practices back 30 minutes to allow us to come in and practice from 3:45 to 5:15. We are also going to be practicing at 5:15 to 6:45 in the morning on Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays. I think one of the bigger inconveniences that we will be going from 11 to 12:30 on Saturdays. We are coming in behind Northwest ISD, and that's the practice time that we get. I think you guys can understand that we want to give our kids the best opportunities possible without also totally changing Northwest ISD's practice schedule. Don't think that's fair to do that, especially in the short amount of time that we are making all this happen starting early next week. So that's basically the practice schedule. National 2 will have a Sunday practice. The biggest thing that I want to say about this whole practice changes is communication. We're going to do our best we can. We have a lot of different options for our swimmers. And if a swimmer can't make a practice or things like that, please communicate with the coach, and we will do our best to get you in a practice. Maybe you need to go, you're in the National 1 or the National 3 group, and you need to go to the Sunday practice from 8:30 to 10:30. The Sunday practice on the October 30th is not finalized yet. Northwest ISD is making sure they have lifeguards and a manager there that day. We are for sure going to have practice on the 22nd. We are still waiting to find out about this. A lot of this was done in a very short amount of time, finding out Wednesday, and now getting all of the moving parts going. So very happy that we're able to do all this. So we need to have our kids do the best they can to get to practice as soon as they can. And We basically are going to put a 2-hour practice into an hour and a half, which means for our kids, less breaks between sets and just a little quicker warm up. But Coach Bill and I and Dan are very excited about at least having the opportunity to practice for an hour and a half, and think that the kids aren't really going to feel any major changes. So we're things should go very well. We have some kids with different days off. We are trying to go 3 days a week in the morning. I understand it's early, but I live right here by the natatorium. I'm currently in an apartment while my house gets built, and the traffic is not that bad coming back to Keller and or South Lake. South Lake, it's a little bit easier getting on 114 and going straight down 114 to the South Lake area. Keller, I highly recommend going down 114 and going down 377. 377 is the least congested and most consistent way to get back to Keller. So I highly recommend doing that. We will have access to the weight room, and we will be doing dry land 3 times a week for about 45 minutes. We published the first 2 weeks of practices. Basically, we're going to have that same cadence or schedule moving forward. The reason that we only publish the first 2 weeks is we just want to make sure that everything is working out well. And if we need to make a change or pivot somewhere, we can do that. But I feel like with the National 1, 2, and 3 schedule that we have a very consistent, regular schedule, very similar to what we had before. And the biggest difference is just going from 2-hour practices to an hour and a half. But I can please understand that that's not that big of a concern, especially as we transition out of our aerobic development phase of our swimming into more of our racing race pace development mode. So it's I don't feel like the kids are going to see that big of a difference going from those practices. We would like to have a little bit extra volume, but we're very happy to have an hour and a half. So those are basically the outline of what we're doing and how we're doing it. I understand there's going to be specific scenarios where kids have to make changes or communicate with the coaches. The thing that I recommend is either do it in Remind, or you can text myself or email us, and Bill and I will do our best to put you in best situation for that swimmer. Especially, we can only have about a handful of kids show up to the 5:15 to 7:15 practice with Northwest ISD. Otherwise, the lanes get too crowded, and then basically their practices can't be run as efficiently as they need to be run. So we are just asking you guys to reach out to us so we can manage the number of swimmers that would be attending those practices. So that's basically all I have. I'd like to open this time up to questions for anybody.
Hey, Jason, excuse me. First of all, just to thank you for pivoting so quickly. And I can't even imagine what it's like to try to plan for something like this. So as a parent, really appreciate that. As you know, Kobe is a middle schooler. He actually gets out of school at 3:45 all the way on the east side of South Lake. And we kind of had figured out a plan to get to Justin for the schedule you published, but it didn't realize that Jeff's group was an option. So looking at that schedule right now, that looks like that would work a lot better for us. Do you want me to just talk to you on the side?
That would be great. Yeah. Okay. If you want to send me an email, that would be awesome.
Okay, we'll just do that. So I'll do that.
I'm definitely writing that down. So yeah, if you guys just want to email me or text me, that's perfectly fine.
Okay, I'll do that right after this. Thank you.
Mhm. Any other questions that I have or that you have?
I'll jump
Yeah,
in with
Jason.
one more. Oh, sorry. Well, I was going to ask, do we think 4 weeks is enough time for this to get resolved, or is this going to drag on, do you think?
Well, with anything with a pool, we think it could. We don't know what's going to happen, but we have 4 weeks planned. The fix for this issue should be able to be resolved before that, but we do have some buffering time within that time period. So we hope that's going to happen. The good news is Keller ISD has done a very good job of communicating everything. I spoke with the athletic director Wednesday morning, and the natatorium manager, and they're going to give us updates throughout the weeks during the week. So I think we're going to. My hope is we're going to be there at that time, but luckily, moving if it does last another week, we get into Thanksgiving break, which gives us a little bit more flexibility with the swimmers. But I really don't see this bleeding into December. That is my at least hope. So
I have another question for the swimmers who are unable to make it at 3:45.
yes,
Is there any option at the WAC?
not at the moment. Part of the reason for that is there's still water polo going on. They have some practices. They don't have as many practices on a regular basis, and Coach Tom has 32 or 33 kids in his group. So if you can't make it, maybe we can talk on the side, and I can see what I can do, but it's probably not on a regular basis. They usually have more morning practices than they do afternoon practices. They have at least usually in the month of October, they've had about 3 practices during the week and then a Saturday and Sunday. So we can definitely work something out. The big thing is if you can't make the 3:45 practice, go ahead and reach out to me and we will see what we can do.
Thank you.
Coach, I got a question. How detrimental is for the kids if they 10-15 minutes late to the 3:45 practice, depending on traffic, obviously?
It's not going to be that detrimental. I mean, 15 minutes is you're getting into some time period, but a 5 to 10 minutes being late, I'm not worried about that. I understand kids are going to get stuck in traffic, especially at that 377-114 interchange, as well as on the 35-114 interchange. So and we kind of expect that. That's part of what we're trying to do the first week, is kind of see how things are going, and then see what the space is behind us to make sure, hey, maybe we have a lane of kids that goes for a little 10 extra minutes. I don't know if that's even possible or what that even looks like based on the modified schedule at Northwest. My recommendation would be have them show up, and then we'll cross that bridge and talk through that moving forward.
Okay. Well, I think Carroll lets out at 3:20, I believe. So that makes it a little tight on.
Yes, and that's the one thing that we're going to try to figure out, and we may have a chance to pivot a little bit later at Northwest, but I can't answer that at the moment till we actually get in and see how everything's working out.
Thank you.
Any other question?
Hey, Jason.
Yes.
Hey, this is Eddie Andrews. Hey, again, just to reiterate, I know this has been a chaotic couple of days to try to react to all this. Can you maybe share a little bit? Because I think I appreciate the the option of looking at Jeff's group and things like that, I think what you may find is we're going to see quite a few swimmers that are going to be unable to make it at 3:45 consistently, and kind of the revised schedule. But I'm assuming there's only probably a handful of spots of people to be able to do that, so it's not going to be a real option for a lot of people. Can you maybe share with us a little bit of, is there some flexibility after this first week? I know it seems like Northwest's group with Jeff was moved back to accommodate us coming in early, but most of our group in Keller is having to travel further to this location. Is there maybe an opportunity by week 2, if this is not working out, that gets swapped where they're going early and we're coming in for the later practice to where more people can actually attend?
Well, we actually have, we possibly have an option to go 7 to 8:30 at night. That is another option as well. And that's what I don't know what the space looks like. We've allocated lane space for the bronze and silver groups, and I don't know what that lane space is going to look like if we have some extra lanes for those groups, because those kids are traveling for an hour practice into the water. So I don't know what that's going to look like, to be perfectly honest. So there's definitely, that's part of the reason why we put down this 2-week schedule, just to see where we're at. And that's one of the things that we're just going to try to figure out. So basically, I'm going to try to regroup after the first week with Bill, and we're going to see how the lane space looks. And then if we need to move kids around, we do have some options, but that 7 to 8:30 may be one of the options that we have swimmers swim at. Any other questions?
I have a question, Jason.
Yes.
So sometimes some groups were off on Monday afternoons and some groups were off on Thursday afternoons. Is it just everyone going Monday through Friday at the 3:45 time, or do they still have that one of those afternoons off, or how's that working?
Yes, it's pretty much the same schedule. So like the National 3 has the Monday afternoon and the National 1 has the Thursday afternoon.
Okay.
So if you look at the second week that I sent out, it kind of shows where we're at. The other thing is I know it shows that we have an hour and 15-minute practice on Thursday because there's a high school meet. We hope that we can get in a little bit extra 15 minutes of practice during warm up, just from the size of the facility there. But we also don't know if that's even going to be an option. So again, we're kind of playing some of this by ear. So we're just happy that everybody's, the natatorium manager was able to help us out and get us in. And that's something we're very happy about. So I hope that answers your question.
Okay, thank you. And then, so you did send that out already? I don't think I saw that.
Yes, I sent it out yesterday. It's the attachment to the Zoom meeting.
Okay, all right, I'll check that. Thank you very much.
Any other questions? Well, everybody, thank you very much. I know this is not the best thing that could happen, but I feel like we have a plan, and we're going to do the best we can to get through this. And if this thing doesn't work out, we do have some different options for people. So please communicate with me either by text or email, and we will kind of go from there. Thanks everybody, and hope you guys have a good weekend.